Well, what do you get when you mix the executive producer of TLC's Trading Spaces and the executive producer of NBC's The Restaurant? Well, it is a new reality show called House Wars, which debuts tonight on the USA Network. The show takes 4 families and gives them the opportunity to design, create, and decorate their ultimate dream home. Each team must transform the entire house over the course of 8 episodes. Here's a look.
These 4 must design the best rooms possible.
Look, the judges are going to be looking at the look, not about how your makeup's going to look, okay?
Yes. Okay.
I do this for a living.
I'll trust you.
To help their team win the ultimate prize, the house they've created with their own sweat and tears.
Barclay Fryery is a designer on the show, and he joins us here in the studio. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you, too.
Tell me a little bit about the program here, because in the end, the winning team gets to keep the house.
Exactly. It's one challenge after another. A challenge for me as a decorator, a challenge for the family to work with a decorator, a challenge to win each episode, because in the end, one family will win the house. And I like to win, David, so it was a real challenge for me to keep my cool, although I did use a little bit of strategy in pitching fits, pouting, to get my own way, to kind of use reverse psychology to make them follow my design scheme so they would win, because the other designers were the judges. So that was a difficulty, to give a design that was wonderful and comfortable and suitable, but also to impress the other judges.
Are you impressed by how popular these home design shows have been?
Well, you know what? I haven't really enjoyed them as much as I've been doing recently, because a designer like me doesn't really watch those shows until now. And it's like going back 10 years ago when I was first starting and doing it all over again from scratch, because I don't sew my own curtains now, I don't paint my own walls, but in this show I had to do that. So I've been watching all of them to get tips and get ideas, because it has to be clever, it has to be quick, and granted, we only have $10,000 and 36 hours to finish a living room, dining room. That's not easy.
And you know, we've had some of the hosts from the other shows on the show before, and they talk about how much work it is.
It is so much work. And you know, you're mic'd all the time. And then your makeup starts running. And you know, I'm not perfect. I had my moments. But you know, it has to be fun, it has to be creative, it has to be on time, it has to be in budget. You know, imagine 15 minutes before the deadline of the show, of that episode, and you have to return a pair of pillows that are 30 minutes away and 30 minutes back to make your budget. It wasn't easy. Everything was a challenge.
24 days to do the to get the house together.
Exactly.
Tell me about budget constraints and whether it's hard to fit everything into the budget.
Well, I'll tell you, like, some of the shows are $1,000 a room. I have no idea how they do that. I mean, I had a difficult time with $10,000 per room. You know, getting a dining room, living room, kitchen appliances, all those things. But we had a little bit more money, which was great. And you'll watch the show and see that we do a lot of interesting things, and it's a lot of fun, and it makes really good television.
And where were you? It was in Arizona, right?
Arizona, 120 degrees.
But it's a dry heat.
Lots of sand. It was like Northern Africa in July. I mean, I just took, you know, it took a little while, but I had to adjust, adapt, and get my job done.
And is there all the 4 houses together?
The 4 houses were next door to each other.
So it must have been a new community.
It was a new community on a new street, and you could see the other community, but you know, these 4 houses next to each other. And each house, it was a yellow team, green team, red team, blue team, and the doors are painted accordingly. And you'll see in the first episode, I can't paint, but I take the challenge of trying to paint the front door blue. It's vinyl with oil paint, so you can imagine the disaster. It's a lot of fun.
As you look back at the experience, are there any things you might change about the house before we see the show tonight?
There's nothing I would have done differently, because I followed my instinct. I used a lot of psychology to get the family to go my way so they would win, and I hope they love me in the end. You know, I'll tell you this much. It was difficult and a challenge, but in the end, we do fall in love.
All right, Barclay, good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
Check it out. It's called The House Wars. It's on USA Network, 10 p.m. Eastern Time for 8 weeks starting tonight. That'll do it for us today. Join us again tomorrow, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a great day.